Hello and welcome to Connected. On this edition, we sit down with an international relief organisation fighting poverty one step at a time. I'll head out on location to meet some inspiring people making a difference in the community doing laundry. We'll catch up with the Brisbane River Boys. They'll reveal their best fishing spots, and Malene Asuael serenades us with her mellow tones. It's time to keep it local and get connected. Well, Oxfam works hard to fight poverty and injustice across the globe, as well as finding ways for people to better their situations, enjoy their human rights and assume everyday responsibilities. Now, their ultimate vision is a world without poverty. In Australia, aid is one of the most important contributions, and they do this through numerous fundraisers and campaigns. And here to tell us more about it is Roshini Mohan. Welcome to the program. How are you?
Thank you.
This is a fantastic program through what you guys do at Oxfam, and that is a program called the Trailwalker. Yes. Tell us a little bit about that for those that don't know it.
Oxfam Trailwalker is Australia's original endurance challenge, where teams of 4 walk 100 kilometres in 48 hours, and they do it to raise funds for the work that Oxfam does.
So 100 kilometres in 48 hours?
Yes.
That's a tall order for some people, isn't it?
Yes, there are shorter events, like Brisbane has a 60 kilometres in 24 hours, but the idea is to push yourself and to raise funds for a good cause.
Yeah. Now, with Oxfam, what's your role with it all?
I work in the major gifts team. So I work with major donors and I find projects that they like and I report back to them. So I see both sides of giving, the joy that and the motivations why people give to Oxfam, as well as the impact that that giving has on the ground. So I see both sides of it. But in the Brisbane office, we're a small team. So when Oxfam Trailwalker hits, because there are 1,000 participants and we have over 500 volunteers who make the event possible, all of us pitch in to help in the event.
And I know that you've pitched in numerous ways, including doing the trail walker yourself.
Yes, I have done Trailwalker 3 times. So I've done a 100 kilometre Trailwalker in Brisbane, a 60 kilometre Trailwalker in Brisbane, and a 50 kilometre Trailwalker in New Zealand.
Right.
So.
Now, of course, we're just looking at people getting ready for the start of a race, or I shouldn't say a race, or a walking trek. But I mean, it's obvious that a lot of people get involved with this.
Yes. In Brisbane this year, we have over 1,000 walkers, so teams of 4. And we also have over 500 volunteers who help out to run a successful event.
That is great.
Yeah.
And for you, how do you actually do a training session before you go out for the trail walk?
Yes. For me, the reason why I do Trailwalker is, in one sense, it helps me give back to the community. I also do it so I can hang out with my friends, because we train every week. Because with a 100 kilometre challenge, up to 60 kilometres your training helps you, and after that it's mind over matter. But it also helps me to get fit, but most importantly, it gives me a way where I can make a small difference in the lives of people who don't have much. So
the pain that you're enduring in those last 40 kilometres is nothing compared to the pain of the people that Oxfam helps.
No, when I'm struggling up those hills, I know that I have a choice, but then there are people around the world where walking is not a choice for them. They have to walk to flee from violence. They have to walk to find a safe place for their children. They have to walk to fetch water, walk to find food, or walk to a refugee camp. And so when I'm struggling up those hills and I'm raising funds for the work that Oxfam does, I think about those people and I tell myself that, you know, I'm doing it for them. So it gives me that sense of satisfaction and empowerment that the little that I do and the pain that I go through is actually making people's lives better somewhere around the world.
And you mentioned that. I mean, is that primarily where the money raised through Trailwalkers goes?
Yes, Oxfam Trailwalker has been happening in Australia since 1991, and over 60,000 people have participated in it, and over the years more than $65 million have been raised.
Wow.
And all that money goes to fund Oxfam's programs, and Oxfam works in over 85 countries and reaches about 25 million people a year. So we work in to provide clean drinking water and sanitation, work with people in livelihoods, and find a solution to the unjust causes of poverty. We also help people to stand up for their own rights, and we are also there when disaster like the earthquake in Nepal strikes, or there's a cyclone in Vanuatu. We are there to help people recover and rebuild and become more resilient.
Yeah, and of course, there's, as you said, many programs that Oxfam has that people can get behind, support with dollars or voluntary.
Yes, there are many ways to get involved with the work that Oxfam does. So you could get involved by volunteering for Oxfam Trailwalker, or you can support the different programs that we have. You can shop at the Oxfam shops because the money goes back to the projects where we work in. You could also volunteer your time in the different events, and you can talk to your politicians to ask for more aid so that we continue our work around the world.
Roshini, it's been great to talk to you. Thank you so much today.
Thank you so much, Damien. Pleasure.
And if you would like to get involved with the Oxfam Trailwalker event or any of their programs, check out their website at trailwalker.oxfam.org.au. Coming up next, I go on location to do some laundry with some very important people and that are inspiring the nation. Stay with us. You're watching Connected. And welcome back to Connected. Well, 1 in 200 people across this country are homeless, according to the census. That's a massive 105,000 people. It's a big problem. And 2 young Brisbane guys have actually come up with a fantastic idea to help those friends in our community. It's called Orange Sky Laundry. Now, it's actually gone national now, and in just 2 years, these guys have certainly made a difference. Today, I'm on location with Orange Sky Laundry and with Luke Kehoe. He's a Brisbane Service Manager and he joins us on the program. Now, Luke, Orange Sky isn't just for the homeless. What's some of the other services you have?
Yeah, that's true. Orange Sky is a multifaceted organisation where our main aim is to restore respect, raise the health standard and reduce the strain on resources. So with the van's our key asset, and through that we aim to... It's a vehicle for conversation, it's a vehicle for opportunities, and it's a vehicle for education. And so we are able to provide a service for our friends on the street, and that's how we refer to them rather than homeless, because we believe that's a more accurate description of the people we get to meet. And that also eliminates the barriers. Some of our friends are community housing or rental assist and that. And so we don't want to have that barrier where they start to think, well, is it just for the homeless? So, just because you have 4 walls doesn't mean you don't need the service. So we hope to provide a service for the community, for everyone in need. And a big part of that is the conversations and the chats, and we get to meet some absolute characters here. And we provide opportunities too, so we get them to come out on the runs. We now have a run which is fully serviced by our friends. Back at the warehouse, we have a bloke who basically runs the warehouse now, and he's a friend on the street. So yeah, it really is. It's a lot more than just washing people's clothes. It's connecting with the community.
Almost like a community hub.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really is a community hub, and you get to know the people you work with, and it's a great experience. It's really good.
You have 9 vehicles across Australia now. That is an enormous success in such a short space of time.
Yeah, very, very much so. We've been exponentially growing, and it's been great to see. And I think that process has been moved ahead for 2 or 3 reasons, I reckon. Nick and Lucas, who are the founders, and they're absolutely amazing blokes if you ever get to meet them. And they have such drive and passion for the organisation. And I think the biggest reason we're able to expand has been through the community. It's, you know, we would still be in Brizzy if people didn't think this was a worthwhile idea. And so we're non-profit, so we get donations and volunteers. You know, that's how we survive. And so it really is, it's the community that's enabled us to expand the way we have.
And of course, for the guys that set this up initially, I mean, Young Australians of the Year. I mean, it certainly has become a national focus.
It has, very much so. Oh, mate, you should have seen the amount of volunteers and the amount of camera crews that came out after that Young Australian of the Year. It was unbelievable. And I think for the next month, every single run I went on, people from the public were approaching me and saying, "Oh, you know, we saw you on the telly. We saw your guys. It's amazing." So no, it's really nice, and it's nice. I think it was nice for Nick and Lucas to get that acknowledgement, and it has really helped with the organisation as well.
So how did you get involved?
My mum, you know, trust your mum. She mentioned them, so I looked them up, and you know, I saw what they did, and I thought this is amazing. So I became a general volunteer on the Monday run. This is where I used to do my run, so it's nice to do an interview here.
Yeah.
And now service manager, but although my job's different now and I have different tasks to do, I think being a general volunteer, I was just as important to the organisation as what I do now, because without the volunteers, the runs wouldn't go out and we wouldn't be able to provide the service we do.
Yeah. I'm sure over your time with Orange Sky, you've certainly had some memorable moments with your friends. Can you tell us one that sticks in your mind?
One that always does stick, and this is one that I do tell people, is that I went on a different run and I'd never met these folk, and someone approached the van and we started having a conversation, and about 4 minutes in, he kind of interrupted me and said, "Well, thank you." And I said, "Well, what are you thanking me for?" And he said, "Well, no one's talked to me in 3 days." He said, "I forgot I existed." And so that really, that hit home for me. That was huge. And I think there is this, you know, that blanket perception of our friends on the street. And so I think the service we provide is really vital, because it gives a positive, non-judgmental environment for our friends to come to, where they know they can have a yarn, they can do the washing if they need, and they can just connect with people.
Well, mate, it's a great story, a great Aussie story, and it's the first time in Australia that this has been done. Where do you see Orange Sky 5 years down the track?
Oh, 5 years. Well, you know, we are a perpetually growing organism. I see world domination. You know, in a great sense, I really do. I think we're going to continue to expand across Australia. I know we've got a van getting ready for Hobart, and I know the boys have plans for overseas, which they're working on now. And I think the boys continue to grow the service, but never at the expense of the service. So it's never just for the sake of getting the name out there and growing. It is when we have the resources and when we are able to build another adequate service, that's when we continue to expand.
Mate, thank you very much for joining us on Connected, and keep up the good work.
Beauty, thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
It is a great service, and if you'd like to be a part of this, you can simply go to their website and get all the information you need, orangeskydelaundry.com.au. We are going to take a break, but on the other side, we're going to go fishing with the Brisbane River Boys and some great entertainment. You're on Connected. And welcome back to Connected. My next guest gets around Brisbane in a kayak. Don't believe me? Take a look at this.
Perfect hookup. Woohoo!
What scares me more is that there's those sharks in the Brisbane River. From the Brisbane River Boys, we welcome Luke Kehoe. How are you, mate?
Not too bad, mate.
Lots of sharks in the Brisbane River?
Yeah, there's a fair few in there.
Wow, you'd never guess from working in a high-rise next to the river, would you?
No, absolutely not. It's not until you actually spend some time in the water and actually go after them that you'll start to see more and more and how many there actually are.
Yeah. So you spend a lot of your time in a kayak up and down the Brisbane River fishing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, it's what I live for.
So where's some of the best fishing spots for people in Brisbane?
Literally anywhere there's water, there is fish. There's always somewhere to fish, and yeah, getting into your local area, somewhere close to you, and you know, finding those secret habits and what species lurk where is all part of the fun of fishing. So.
Because many people assume that the Brisbane River is dirty, so there wouldn't be much fish life. Not the case?
No, not at all. No. Dirty rivers obviously going to make it a little bit harder to find the fish, but the fish are definitely there, and you get into it, you find that out pretty quick.
And how long have you been fishing for?
My entire life I've been you know, getting into a bit of fishing here and there, but the last 3.5 years has been really where I've taken off in my fishing career and started getting out and catching a few more species.
Do you have a favourite spot yourself?
Not so much a favourite spot. Favourite spot close to home is probably College's Crossing out near Ipswich. It's,
oh, yes.
Yeah, great little spot where you get your fresh and saltwater species mixing, and yeah.
People often, you know, say, I want a fish to virtually, as soon as I cast the line out, jump on the hook. Doesn't always happen, but there's obviously some areas that are more populated with fish that it's going to be a bit quicker.
Well, yes and no. It depends on the time of year, the conditions as well. There are places where you'll have a huge amount of success and then go there another week later and have next to no success, and that's all part of the fun of fishing as well. You know, you never know when it's going to happen for you.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's people's pastime, it's their passion, and it's a good way to relax, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's my stress relief, being able to sit out on a kayak and get away from the hubbub of work and just relax and spend time in nature, and if you get lucky, catch a fish. It
must be so peaceful sitting in your kayak out there in the middle of the river.
Definitely, especially first thing in the morning. You got the low mists and the wildlife coming down to the water. It's great.
Yeah. Have you ever caught anything really large in the Brisbane River?
I've caught sharks up to 1.5 metres. Caught a threadfin salmon close to 1 metre. Yeah, there's some big fish in there.
Wow, that is amazing. And we don't often. I mean, recently we've also heard about a lot of shark attacks, especially in WA, but not so much here in Brisbane. You don't even put two and two together that there's sharks in the river.
No, not many people do. There's, you know, you see kids and pets swimming down there all the time, and even I myself, you know, I've grown up on the river, and as a young fella, I used to swim around the river all the time and never give it a second thought. So
yeah. The only thing you've got to watch out for when you're in your kayak is those city cats.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, yep.
They do get around rather swiftly, don't they?
Absolutely.
Mate, thank you so much for joining us, and of course people can find out more about the Brisbane River Boys as well, and maybe find their own local fishing spot.
That's right, yep.
Great, mate. Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And if you'd like to check out where your fishing spot is, as Luke says, just jump out there, find a nice spot and get some wonderful fish on the end of your line. You can also check out Luke on his Facebook page or YouTube channel under Brisbane River Boys. Local singer-songwriter Malene Asuael has been singing since she was able to walk. She comes from a very musical family who enjoys singing together often for church functions and family get-togethers. She recently released her first song on iTunes, If Only, and has her first debut concert in Australia at the end of this month. And Malene joins us on the program, as well as Alex, her guitarist. Malene, where do you get your inspiration for your music?
Definitely family, friends, movies. Anywhere, really.
Any walk of life?
Yes.
Now, of course, many try to pigeonhole artists in the music business into a particular genre. What about you? Is there a particular area?
Not yet, because I think I'm pretty new at the whole songwriting thing, so I'm still experimenting with different kinds.
But when you find it, you'll know.
Yes, definitely.
What about some of the artists that may have inspired you over the course of your lead up to here?
A lot, like Lauryn Hill, To Anyone, Bone Thugs, Position.
Wow. So quite a diverse range.
Yes.
Yeah. And your debut concert is happening. Tell us a little bit about it, because it's called Storytime.
Yeah. Storytime, basically stories of my life or that I've written in songs, and even I'm singing covers of songs that have inspired me as well.
Okay, so we'll hear a bit of some new material as well as some old classics.
Yes, definitely.
Well, I say old classics in the nicest possible sense. Well, look, fantastic. You're going to perform for us now, aren't you?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to hear something very nice from you very shortly. And I wish you all the best for your music endeavours. But right now, let's sit back and enjoy Malene Asuael singing her debut hit, If Only.
I always see on movies people fall in love. It's always by the first kiss when they first touch. But all of these things I couldn't believe until that day came when it happened to me. Baby boy, I'm missing you, boo, hoping that you're missing me too. But the thing is, what do I do when I forget to give my number out to you? On the long ride, going back home, going through my contacts on my phone, going down the list, don't see your name, thinking to myself, oh, what a shame, such a short time we had spent together. Conversation going on forever, no awkward silence, hesitation, flirty violence in the situation. If only I had a chance to write your number in the palm of my hand. If only I knew who I was gonna fall in love with you. If only. If only. Baby boy, every day I think about you, and every night I dream about you. I look at my phone wishing it was you on my wallpaper. I wanna call and text you, but I don't have your number. If only I had a chance to write your number in the palm of my hand. If only I knew who I was gonna fall in love with you. If only. If only. I always see on movies people fall in love. It's always by the first kiss when they first touch. But all of these things I couldn't believe until that day came when it happened to me. Oh. If only. If only.
Malene Asuael, and If Only, the debut song. Fantastic. Congratulations. And also to Alex as well. What a superman you are on that guitar, mate. Congratulations to you as well. And if you'd like to know more about you guys, of course, you can check out your Facebook page and just do a search there for Malene Asuael, and also all of the upcoming information on your concerts as well.
Yes,
Thank you so much for joining us. And for more information on all of my guests today, you can find those details on our Connected Facebook page or on our website, connectedtv.com.au. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and remember, keep connected. Until next week, from the entire team, bye for now.